So we're gonna start with a little intro. My name is Michaela. I'm from Homedale, New Jersey. I'm a freshman here at Montclair State. I'm an ambassador, and that is why I get to do this lovely event with you guys. Um, and a little bit about me. I am a psychology major, which I will talk a little bit more later on, with a social work minor. I do live on campus, and I am a part of not only the undergraduate admissions ambassador community, but I also do intramural volleyball and stuff like that. So if you have any questions in regards to my major, my minor, living on campus, anything like that, you can put it in the chat. We're gonna discuss a whole bunch of things today. So if you have any questions at all at any time, you can put it in the chat, Q&A section, wherever you want. We're also gonna leave about 10 minutes at the end for any additional questions. And I'm gonna pass it over to my partner.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tanis, and I am a freshman here at Montclair State University. Currently, I'm undeclared as a major, but I'm thinking about majoring in child advocacy and policy, possibly social work or exercise science. And I do live on campus as well. So if you also have any questions about living on campus, we would be more than happy to help you with that. And as for things I'm involved with on campus, I'm also an admissions ambassador. So we get to go to events such as open houses, special events, and we get to do this talk with you. And we also give tours on campus. I'm also a part of the peer mentor program, and I am a part of Team Rocky. So if you have any questions about extracurriculars, you can ask me that too. That was a long introduction.
No, that was perfect. All right, so let's kick this off. And when I go back to my screen, make sure I'm gonna do a little test. If you guys, can you still hear me? Hopefully, yes, no. Let me see. Tanis, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, perfect. Because before it kept muting me every time. But anyways, welcome to the Red Hawk Talk. Once again, I am Michaela, and that is Tanis. So, what interested us in MSU when we were considering different colleges? For me, it was the campus itself. I don't know if any of you have been on campus yet, but it is absolutely stunning and gorgeous, and it's just such a great place to be. I love the community and the diversity on campus. It's everyone is so friendly and welcoming, so that is something that I noticed just going on a campus tour when I was looking at different colleges. Also, the different events. I followed Montclair's Instagram and a whole bunch of different club Instagrams from Montclair, and just seeing all of the different events that they had just sounded like so much fun, which once again, we will get a little bit more into that later in the presentation. And the residence halls. I also got a little sneak peek of the residence halls when I was looking at the colleges and coming to when I came to visit Montclair, and I absolutely fell in love. And I was like, this is where I would want to stay. What about you, Tanis?
Oh my God, I looked for a lot of things when I was considering colleges. Let's see. One of them was probably the fact that I loved the racial diversity. I grew up in New York City, so I was always experiencing so many different cultural backgrounds. So I loved seeing that at Montclair, and I saw what I saw at my high school at Montclair. I've always also liked having a big campus community. So we do have about, what is it, Michaela, like 20,000 students, like undergraduate and graduate. So I really like the big campus feel. And I was also looking at the different majors and minors that Montclair offered, and I really liked them and compared them to a lot of different schools. And there were honestly so much more that Montclair offered. So I really liked that and took that into consideration. And there was so much to get involved with. So yeah.
Yes, something you'll learn is you cannot be bored on this campus, and there's just so many different opportunities, and it's amazing. So, and even if they don't have a club or organization that you may be interested in, it's very easy for you to start your own club. So there's really no limitations, and it's just amazing. So, moving on. All right. So what interested us in our major? So as I mentioned before, I am a psychology major with a social work minor, and a few things had inspired this major. For one, my friends always said I was good at giving advice. We'll see. So I was like, psychologist, therapy, perfect. Um, and just the program also itself, I heard that we had a pretty good um, psychology program, and I wanted to, I thought that it would be the perfect opportunity for me to choose it and get really into my major here at Montclair. So yeah, basically where I chose it. And Netflix also, which I might get into later, but Netflix inspired what my career path was, which I'll talk about when we talk about careers. But yeah, what about you, Tanis?
Well, as I mentioned before, I am undeclared, but I do have a few majors in option. And I think that something that I was really looking for was to be very hands-on in my career. And I also loved like helping people and, just really using my voice to communicate. And I've always been very athletic. So obviously like exercise science makes sense, or at least we'll see in the future. I am thinking possibly about having a career in dance movement therapy. So that was always a way for me to keep dance in my life, which is something that I really loved. Um, so I think incorporating a psychological background and something with exercise science definitely interested me.
Nice, nice. All right. Now what is my goal or our goals with our major? So Tana's kind of already went into that. But my goal as a psychology major with a social work minor is to actually hopefully work in a juvenile detention center, preferably with females or males, doesn't really matter. Once again, this is where Netflix comes into play. I watched a show on Netflix and it just inspired me to, be the help that these kids need. And I would love to do something in terms of forensic psychology or just helping these kids get out of these difficult situations in their lives. So I think that Montclair was a good fit when choosing this major so that I can be in that career path. Because, for example, for my social work class, we have different fields come in and discuss what they do in that specific field in the social work career. And it's just really inspiring and really helps with your decision of where you want to go. So that's something to keep in mind when you take an intro class. Usually it's very beneficial for you to see what career you would like to go into, but that is where I kind of want to go with my major. And I don't know if Tanis has anything to add about what she said before, but like I said, she kind of mentioned that a little bit.
I know I already answered the other question. I totally forgot that this was the next one.
No, it's okay. All right. Sorry, I keep looking at my little notes on the side. All right, so what was our freshman year like, and what was our experience as we settled into life at MSU? So as we mentioned, I'm a freshman. Tanis is a freshman, right? No. Yes, I was like, yes, she's a freshman. So far, I'd say it was definitely a change, but it was a good change. I feel like in high school, they definitely scare you and they're like, if you don't do this right, you're not going to succeed in college, or college is so much differently. Like they try to scare you. But honestly, at Montclair, that is not the case at all. The professors are super understanding, they're super helpful. If you ever have questions, they obviously are open to answer. They have office hours, extra help hours. You have TAs, which are basically teacher assistants. So you can contact them too. So there's really no room to fail, let's just say. And there's always help. So that was definitely something I was worried about coming into college. But as my freshman year goes, I'm very happy with this outcome. Because it's just it's a very good campus. And In terms of meeting friends, that is also something that sometimes most people worry about, new school, new friends. It's very easy to make friends here, I'd say, because of all of the events that we have. So that was something that was pretty easy. The independence is also something that could be scary for some people, but I found pretty easy as well. Um, and yeah, so overall, I think my freshman year is going well, and we're in the second semester. So yeah, Janice.
I think that my freshman year has definitely been very eventful and a lot with definitely like new experiences. Um, Something that I definitely struggled with going into college was always hearing everybody else's point of view, that there was so much work that I wouldn't be able to get involved in anything, and that I was going to be stressed out all of the time and constantly sleep deprived. And I realized that the people I was talking about had not good time management skills, and they weren't speaking based off of experience. They were talking based upon, what they heard from other people. So I think something to definitely take into consideration is, one, to not listen to that, and to, really develop a schedule for yourself and stick to that, and not procrastinate your work, to stay on top of your work. Because sometimes, yes, it can get stressful if you do fall behind on work. And then once I went to college, I realized that those um, those things that people told me before I went to college were really not true. And it's all based on who you are, what kind of person you are, and what you seek out. If you seek out help to your professors, if you're struggling with something. Um, and something else I also realized was, I cannot stress this enough. You have 4 years, or depending on if you're a 4+1 program, getting a master's, you have 4 to 5 years typically to do what you want. If you want to get involved in, let's say, the newspaper or the radio station, and you're so overwhelmed with all of the things that, I want to do this, I want to do that, you have 4 years to do it, and you don't have to stress yourself out like I did last semester. Saying I need to do it all now. You do not have to do it all now, and you have 4 years, and whatever you want to do, you will accomplish it if you do it right. And that's by just like taking your time to really devote yourself to what you really want to do on campus. I also did a lot of like different events, and that we have like in the school, that's really fun, that we have on the weekends. We have events that you can go to like after class. So that's been my freshman year.
Yes, there's a lot to do, as we're gonna keep mentioning. And it definitely takes some time to learn and adjust, but once you get the hang of it, it's not that bad. And in my opinion, it's completely different than high school. So don't stress. Everything will be all right. um, all right, so let's see. The next topic. What are some of our most memorable moments at MSU so far? Oh my gosh, every day is a memory, number one. But I would probably say my top few was back to meeting friends. So meeting friends, we have a residence hall called Blanton, and inside Blanton, you can sit down and there's an atrium and it has Chili's, Jersey Mike's, and Dunkin' Donuts. My friends and I would literally just sit there for hours and meet tons and tons and tons of friends, like a million friends. So that's one of my favorite things to do. Also, as we all know, or most of us know, it has snowed recently. And so there was a whole MSU snowball fight. That was fun. That was in front of the Student Center, which if you went on a tour, you would know what the Student Center is. If not, no worries. So the snowball fight, that was fun. We also have a few dances and galas with different clubs and organizations, where you get to come in your nice ball gowns and suits and just have a fun night with music, lots of food, pictures. I'm actually going to one next week, so I have my dress in the mail on this way. And Red Hawk Day, which you will experience. That's I believe it's like a day, the day before classes start, and it's just a whole day of different events, free ice skating, a hypnotist, game show, a whole bunch of different things, a barbecue. So that is definitely some of my most memorable moments, and that doesn't even cover half of it. So those are a few things to look forward to. Tanis.
I would have to say one of my most memorable moments is probably like going ice skating on the weekends with my friends. So we do have an ice skating arena on campus, and there's ice skating every Friday and Saturday night. And sometimes once in a while, they'll have like 2 or 3 sessions per day. And they also have it on Sunday afternoons. But just like the feeling of going with friends, like on a Friday night after class, it's definitely really fun. And we all also go to Bistro afterwards. Bistro is one of the restaurants that we have on campus that once Sam's Place, our meal plan dining hall closes, Bistro opens up. So it opens up at 9 o'clock. So we all go afterwards, and we get really good mac and cheese bites. So that's definitely been like, I think, one of my best memories. We also have a program on campus called SLAM, which is Student Life at Montclair, and they put on some of the best events. I went to the Met Gala in the beginning of December, and they had like a secret location, and a bus will take you, and it is literally the most fancy thing I have ever been to. It only costed like, I think, $15. Well, did you go, Michaela?
Wait, sorry, I just like
I do
had a
that
glitch.
all the time.
Yes, it was so much fun. It was so much fun. Definitely go. They
Yeah.
have like a winter one and a spring one, so one each semester. So if you missed the first one, there'll be another one.
It's definitely really fun. Taking advantage of all these opportunities. We have an app called Cork that shows all of the different events that go on campus. So the school will definitely be telling you about that app to download, like if you decide to come to the school or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, even on this slide, so the little jump thing, jumping house,
Oh, yeah.
that was an event. I actually did go to that. It was so fun. We had like bouncy houses, like bounce house obstacle courses. It was so much fun. And then the one on the bottom, that's from Homecoming, where they again have different like carnival games, our football game, different booths, food trucks. So that's definitely fun. There's so many things to look forward to. Next, we have what has it been like living on campus. So this is actually Tanis and I's building. I live in Denalo. The picture, I don't know if you see my mouse, but on the left, and her building is Machuga on the right. And this is kind of a glimpse of what you'll see inside. And I love living here. I have a single, which means when I wake up, I don't see my roommate. I see a wall. So it's me, my roommate, a wall separating us, a sink, and then a bathroom. So we are in the same room, but we have separate rooms at the same time, if that makes sense. The picture that I have on the slide, that is a double. So that's just when you wake up and you can see your roommate on the side. So I've had very positive living experiences here. Laundry is free, so you don't have to worry about paying for laundry. It is right downstairs of your building, whichever building you choose from. We have about 4 different buildings, 5-ish, I believe. I think 4 or 5 buildings that you can choose from to live in. And all of that is on our website if you want specific prices, specific living communities. All of that is on our website, but we live in the Heights, and they are sister buildings, and they house about 200 students each. And yes, I love it. It's definitely a way to bond. Let's see, hold on. Is there any way this is being recorded? It's like, yes, it is being recorded. However, I have no idea where it's going to be once it is recorded, but I would just assume that if you email admissions, they might be able to give you a copy of this webinar. So no worries. I will email the lady who was in charge about that. So I'll get your name down and then I'll have her talk to you about that. But yes, this is being recorded. But I forgot what I was saying. Yeah, no problem, Caitlin. Forgot what I was saying, but it's okay. But yeah, so basically I've had many positive experiences and it's a great way to connect with students on campus. And I know some people's biggest concerns is if living on campus, are there still things to do on the weekends? Yes, we are a kind of a commuter school, but once again, they have loads and loads of events throughout the week and the weekend. So once again, you won't be bored, so you don't have to worry about having to go home or being the only one on campus because there are people here. So no worries. What about you, Tanis?
I think I've definitely had a very good living experience as well on campus. I love the dorm building that I work in, that I'm sorry, that I live in. And some people do work there as essays. I actually went random with my roommate, and I didn't think that I would get a good roommate, but I have been so lucky with that, and I could not ask for a better roommate. She's pretty much the opposite of me. I'm more social and she likes to stay inside more and you just do her own thing. So we just really definitely balance each other out. As for my building, I know, Michaela, you only have one laundry room in Denalo. We have, so on one side of the building, there's one laundry room and then the other, there's another one. So it's kind of like smaller in my building, but we also have like a community kitchen. So I'll cook with my friends on the weekends sometimes, which is definitely really fun. I live on the top floor, actually. Oh, wait, no, I'm not even sharing the screen. If you see Machuga Heights on the upper right-hand corner, I live to the left. So I get the view of the village and the mountains, which is definitely really beautiful to wake up to. I love it every day. And let's see, as for, what else do I have to add? As for like my other living situation, like my neighbors, I have really good neighbors. And yeah, everyone on my floor pretty much gets along. It's definitely so fun living on campus. It's like a teenage hotel.
Yeah, I like to say it's like summer camp sometimes. It's like
Yeah,
so fun.
it's so much fun. I think you guys would love it.
I actually got a question about roommates. So in terms of rooming, my roommate is from my high school. So if you already know someone, you can definitely room with them. Once it is time to apply for housing, all you have to do is obviously know who you want to room with. And then one of you will get to do all of the room assigning, like picking your room, and then the other one will have a pin. And when it's time to register, you just enter their pin and you guys are automatically linked together. If you don't know someone, no worries, you can do random assignment. And with that, we have like kind of like a speed dating kind of thing where you answer some questions and they try to match you with someone who would basically seem like a good fit for you. So there's a whole bunch of different ways that you can choose your roommate, but if you do know someone, you can definitely room with them if you would like. And like I said, that's what I did. I knew my friend from high school, so we're rooming together. So yeah, on campus and favorite meals. Honestly, I don't have a favorite meal because everything to me is pretty good. So, but in terms of favorite places to eat, Tanis mentioned before Bistro. I love Bistro. Great late night snack, kind of like a tailgate food, kind of tailgate kind of restaurant. So burgers, paninis. They have pancakes, which is super random, but they're very good. The macaroni bites, amazing. Wings, all of that. We also have the Red Hawk Diner. Oh, go ahead, Tanis.
No, I was just gonna tell you the mac and cheese bites are so good.
Oh no, I can't hear Tanis. I don't know if you
Oh,
guys
you
can
can
hear
hear
her.
me?
Oh, now we can hear her now.
Oh, you can hear me? No, I was just gonna say the mac and cheese bites are so good. I love the mac
Yeah.
and cheese bites. They're not even on the menu. I don't know why.
They're not. You have to go in. It's like a secret menu kind of thing. So you heard it here first. Yeah, so the diner, we have our own diner here on campus. That is what is in the slideshow. Right now is doing takeout, but it's working to do it like they're slowly opening it back up for us to make reservations and go in. The milkshakes are amazing. They're like bigger than your head. So if you get the chance to go to the diner, I highly recommend a milkshake. Um, so those are definitely my top two. What about you, Tannis?
Ooh. My favorite place to eat on campus is at Panera Bread. It is right next to actually our admissions office. So every single time I have my office shift or I have a tour, I'm always spending my flex at Panera. Don't judge me. It's delicious. I always get the Chipotle, no, chicken avocado melt. It's so good. And I like the strawberry banana smoothies, but it's so expensive. I need to stop eating it. I like that. And I like Bistro. One of our other meal plan dining halls. It's called Freeman Dining Hall. I really like they have avocado toast and they have really good omelets for breakfast. So I definitely like to go there if I have class near there in the morning. So yeah, that's definitely my favorite places to eat on campus.
Again, I just want to share a question that was in the Q&A. When can we choose, or when should you choose your roommate? You can choose whenever. You can start looking whenever. Tannis, do you want to answer that one? As long as it's before the deadline.
Oh yeah. I actually have a peanut and tree nut allergy, so I know exactly where you're coming from. As for food restrictions, I know that Sam's Place does not cook with any like peanuts or tree nuts, but you definitely fill out I remember filling out like a form saying that I had specific food restrictions. I'm not exactly sure what kind of food restrictions you have, but you can definitely let them know once they send out that form to you. And you can have a meal, I think you can have a meal plan like designed for whatever food restrictions you have.
Yes. They have allergen. They have a vegetarian and allergen station. I don't know if Tannis mentioned that. I was typing out the end and answer to another question. But Sam's does have a whole entire station dedicated for people with allergies who are vegetarian. I know my friend is a pescatarian, or no, she's a vegetarian. So she went up to Freeman, and you can just ask them if they have like any fish options or things like that that she can eat instead of eating the meat that they are serving that day. So there's a whole bunch of options in that. What dorm would you recommend for freshmen? We actually have Bone. Bone is an all freshman housing building. They do have communal bathrooms, and the floors are gender separated. So if you want to meet more freshmen, I would recommend that building. If not, you can live anywhere else. Like I said, Tannis and I are freshmen and we live in the Heights. I like it. I specifically chose the Heights because of the singles. I like just having my own space. But really, it doesn't matter. But yeah, so freshmen can live basically wherever, except for the villages and the off-campus housing. But that's when you're a senior, so you don't really have to worry about that now. We answered that one. Heard a lot about the winters at Montclair. How's the summer there? Hot, hot, but not too bad. It's actually it's fun because more people are outside and hanging out. But honestly, it's not that bad. So I'm just gonna clear these out. Okay. Moving on. Let's see. Favorite clubs or events on campus. So we kind of went over that already, basically. But is there anything specific that you want to add, Tannis, about maybe your Rocky organization? I think we might be doing that in the next slide. But if you want to start talking about that now, maybe like a memorable moment from being a part of it, That would be cool.
Sure. Well, I actually just became a part of Team Rocky this semester. So we have weekly meetings for an hour. It's really fun. Everybody talks and we sign up for different events. And we have a minimum requirement of attending 12 events, 12 Rocky events per semester on campus. And we can do things such as attend the sports games. My first event was actually the women's swimming and diving team event, and that was definitely really fun. We also are able to attend events such as Red Hawk Day, which all freshmen get to be a part of. So they have different events that go on throughout the day. So we're in uniform with a red polo that just says Team Rocky on the side. So you'll definitely see us there. And we just do like a lot of entertainment and stuff and basically just attending events like that.
Yes, I love that. I love that. I love seeing them around. I actually just saw Team Rocky as I was
Really?
coming back today. I was like, oh my God, they were doing Rocky on the street. Is that
Rocky on
what
the
it is?
street. I was gonna do that event, but I had to go home today. We actually we have a golf cart. So if you're part of Team Rocky, we get to learn how to drive the golf cart, which is really fun. We have the little Rocky tail on the back. So when Rocky goes to the events, Rocky sits on the back and just waves to people on campus. It's really funny. And it's just a fun time.
Oh my God, I love it.
Yeah.
I love seeing them all over. Someone asked, I've heard that Montclair is a commuter school. How does that affect friendships? So as I mentioned, there's many events. So honestly, it doesn't affect friendships that much. My roommate is actually friends with so many commuters just because of events and stuff. CSI and Slam and all that, they actually put on specific events for commuters, like commuter spa day, commuter stuff a plush, things like that, so you can be connected to the campus and other commuters. So that really doesn't matter in terms of making friends, because you will still have an equal opportunity to meet everyone. Did you want to add anything on that one, Tanis? Not sure.
Yes, actually one of my best friends is a commuter and we always like encourage them to come to events and stuff. And I think something that I've heard about for commuters is that it could be hard, depending if you have like a schedule of like when you need to be home, or like when you leave in the morning for class. I know one of my best friends who's a commuter, they live 25 minutes away from the school, so it's definitely like hard. It could be hard for them to like get there, but we always try to like encourage them to come to events. And when they do, it's definitely a really fun time and it gives them the real campus feel.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. I have another one and then we'll do the next slide and then we'll answer more. I'm like kind of trying to bounce back and forth. How early do classes start and what is the earliest / latest they start? So it's college, so you can do whatever you want. You can choose whatever classes you want. Last semester I wouldn't say it was a terrible decision, but as my first semester in freshman year, my earliest was an 8:15. But I know that there's 8 o'clock classes and 7 o'clock classes, and I'm not a late class person, so I've never taken late classes, but my roommate does. And I know that we have like 5 o'clock classes, 6 o'clock classes, and sometimes she doesn't end her class until like 10 p.m. So really there's a large range. When you register for classes, you can see the time it starts and ends, and you can choose and build your schedule that way. So I would say about 7 a.m. and maybe like 8 a.m. I think is some people do have an 8 p.m. 8 p.m. class. So it really just varies. So I'm just gonna pause on the questions so I can like get through this slideshow really fast and then we can continue because you guys have really really good question. So I want to just and you can work with that. You can see on and off campus job opportunities. We do also offer Greek life. About 900 students here do Greek life. And then once again, we have over 120 clubs and you can make your own. I'm working on being a part of a few organizations for next semester. I kind of wanted to feel it out this semester. And we also have club sports. We have intramural. Like I mentioned, I'm in volleyball intramural and it's actually starting back up again. The deadline is today, so I gotta make that payment. But yeah, so if you have any questions about that, feel free to ask. In terms of club, I didn't know this until this semester, but with club sports, they do it twice a year, first semester and second semester. So say you were too scared or couldn't try out for club volleyball or basketball or any sport the first semester, no worries, they will do it again your second semester. And that is MSU versus other teams. And intramural is just MSU versus MSU. So it's kind of like a fun little thing. You just get your friends to play in the gym. And we offer a whole bunch of different sports. So that is something that I do as well. So Tanis, I don't know if you have any other job. Well, you mentioned your jobs, but clubs or anything you want to add to that before we move on.
Something else that I was a part of was we have a program called MSU Players, which is the theater organization that we have on campus. And we put on different shows. We also have students who are in the program, which you can just join, who actually write their own plays and people come and watch them. And it's really cool. We allow outside guests. If you want to invite your family, if you're part of the show. I was a part of stage crew, which I really enjoyed. I danced pretty much my whole life, so I always wanted to experience being on stage crew. So that's something I started doing last semester. I also wrote an article for the Mont-Clarion, which I found very interesting. A lot of people really liked it. And I was also part of the radio station for a little while. Yeah, so those are the other things that I was a part of. As for campus jobs, I didn't really have, it counted as a federal work study, but I had an internship in the Gender, Sexuality, and Women's Studies department. And that was definitely very interesting. We did a lot of amazing things. And we had a faculty advisor. So that really specialized in that area. So definitely with the help of them, it, made our events a lot more, yeah. So those are the things that I'm a part of.
Yes, once again, a lot of things to be a part of. So once again, thank you guys for your time. We're gonna stay on until 5 o'clock and answer questions now. So feel free to put them in the chat or in the Q&A section. Tanis, if you see any, you could just start it off if you'd like while I'm looking through. Okay, I saw one about how difficult is it to receive a single dorm room as a freshman. So it's not difficult. I did it. Each time slot has an equal amount of bedding that is divvied up. So you don't have to worry about, oh, Tanis is first, she's gonna get the single and my slot is later, so I'm not gonna get the opportunity. That is not the case. You don't have to worry about that. You will have the opportunity to get your single. Now that doesn't mean oh, my time slot is 4:30. Let me wait until 4:40. I have some time because I know it's gonna be there. No, it might get taken, but so just make sure you always log on time, but typically you will be able to get the space you wanted. Did you want to answer oh wait, you don't know yet because do you want to answer the undecided one? I don't know if you.
Which question was it?
What happens if you apply undecided and you now know what your major you want to do? How do you change your major?
Well, I'm undeclared right now. So let's just say I wanted to go declare today. I would make an appointment with my advisor. So they're going to give you the login credentials once you commit to the school. So we have something called Nest. So they're going to give you your login credentials. You'll log into Nest and you'll scroll down on the home screen and you'll see different options. One which says Navigate, and Navigate will show you your entire academic advisor's profile, and on somewhere on the page, it's pretty visible. You can click just like to make an appointment with them, and it'll show different time slots where they're available. So you can make an appointment with them and go declare your major in their office. So that's how you declare your major.
Yes. And if you want to add a minor, it's very simple. You can do that on your own through DegreeWorks, which you can also locate through Nest. You just hit add a minor, you hit request, someone will look over it, and then it will be approved and then show up on your DegreeWorks platform. So once again, the odds of getting what the residence hall and room that you want is very high. You will most likely get what you asked for. So there's no stress about that. I know I was definitely stressed, and I was like, whew, there's singles in Denali. Like, I'm fine. It's exactly what I wanted. So don't worry about that. Janice, you want to talk about how it is working at the radio station?
Yes, I was just going to answer that one. I think that working at the radio station was actually a really cool experience. They have different departments that you could join. So you could join something like the production, you could join engineering, you could join the office team. I'm not exactly sure which other ones they have, but I know there's about 6 more. So our meetings are on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. They're probably going to change next semester, but in the beginning of each semester, the radio station will be at we have an involvement fair. Usually it's in the quad. So they show like all the different things that you can get involved with in the radio station. You can also have really good access to internships with Disney or ABC. So there's definitely a lot of connections there. For me, I worked with the office team for a little while. So we were able to write newsletters if you're really interested in writing. We also do a lot of event planning. So we planned events like the Halloween party, we planned a Christmas party, and just so on. It's definitely a really fun experience. Everyone's very lively, and I speak from experience. Everybody is so lively at the meetings, and I always say this, but I always enjoyed going to the general body meetings. So I think you'll definitely have a really good experience if you're interested in that kind of stuff.
Nice. What is your division in sports? We are a Division III sports school. We have 18 division sports teams to choose from or be a part of. We have their own gym. They have their own gym for our D3 athletes, aside from the gym that residents can use. So yes, we are Division III. After you apply for housing, how long does it take to find out what you got? As soon as you hit submit, that is the housing you pretty much got. So it's not a waiting game. You will know immediately. Yeah. Do you know anything about the theater programs?
Yes.
And how competitive they are?
So we have, you can major in.
Oh, there we go.
Wait,
now
can you hear me?
Nope, now you're good.
Okay. So you can major in something called theater studies, or you can major in musical theater. Musical theater is an audition process. I think it's moderately competitive. I'm not exactly sure how competitive it is, but I think it does have like kind of a selective process. I didn't word that right. And we also have like non-major affiliated theater programs like MSU Players, where you can sing, dance, and act and perform musical theater for fun. But yeah, musical theater is an audition process.
Yes. Do we have to change dorms every year, or is it a choice? It's a choice. If you want to stay in your same assignment, you would just either click the same thing, or I'm not sure yet because I haven't had to do it yet, so I don't know exactly what it looks like, but I know that you can live in the same exact space as you did the previous semester or year. Do you know anyone who is currently doing a product design major? I do, and they love the program. So um, it's very interesting. When do you find out who your roommate is? Well, you will. Oh, okay. Obviously, if you know who your roommate is coming in, then you know. But if you're talking about random Tanis, you know a little bit about that too.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was muted. I keep doing that. So
Oh,
when I was filling out the housing application, I filled it out pretty late actually, and I would always hear people talking about the Heights. I want to live in the Heights. I want to live in the Heights. I never knew anything about the Heights. So I actually, fun fact, got the very last room in the Heights. So when you see the little, it'll show like a box of the room number, the price of the room, and the initials of the person. So when you click on it, it'll show the person's full name and their email. So you can email them, get in touch with them. And so it'll just show you that. And once you like pick your housing, they don't just randomly throw somebody else in. There's usually somebody is already on there down for that room, or at least in my experience. But yeah.
Let's go 1 to 10. How bad is the wind or weather in general? Honestly, it can be a little windy since we're higher up in the mountains, but it's nothing that a hood can't help you get through. Let's just say. So it's not bad at all.
Yeah, I was on tour yesterday and the wind was like, I was like holding up my hood, like talking about one building, like this is this is that, and I'm like holding the hood up. Family's kind of like, all right.
Yeah. Hmm. Ooh.
Yes, one of my friends is a biology major. I do know that some of the classes are pretty rigorous. You will have to take classes like statistics, pre-calculus, and physics. So if you're a math and science person, that may be easier for you. If not, then there are definitely a lot of other campus resources that you can take advantage of for those kinds of classes. There are tutors offered for different subjects like that. So that's definitely something you should take advantage of. And we also do have several affiliated and non-affiliated pre-med programs. You also have the option of creating your own club. So I actually know somebody who recently created a club called MSU, like Doctors Without Borders. So they speak about different like humanitarian work and Doctors Without Borders. We also have a program called the Global Medical Brigade. So you can go to other countries and gain medical experience. That's something I definitely want to take in consideration, not consideration, advantage of in my college career. And we also do have, I believe we have an affiliated pre-med program where you can go practice for MCATs with people who come to the university who are already in the medical field. It's like alumni. Michaela, do you know any more about that program?
I do not, but that sounds cool.
If you look it up, it'll show like you just look up Montclair State University pre-med program and they'll list a bunch of information about it. And you can email somebody about like your interest in it, if you're interested in that, and they'll take it from there with you.
Someone said in the other chat, if the wind blows me or my skateboard away, I'm running to YouTube for help. Hey, take that up with Mother Nature, not us. No, I'm just kidding. I see people skateboard in these windy winds, and I'm like, how are you even doing this? But it's possible. But good thing we have a nurse on campus.
Somebody says, is there a type of room number, like if you want an outside view or an indoor view?
Honestly, I'm like 99.5% sure that all of the rooms have an outside view. They're like you might get the view of a building. Like currently, the view I'm seeing is a parking deck. So you will have an outside view at all times. If it's a nice view, I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell which room exactly you'll get that. Can you have a bike on campus? Yes, you can have a bike, electric scooters, skateboards, roller skates. I just saw someone roller skating today. Um, we have like bike racks and stuff.
I just want to say, I think it says like the unanimous attendee. You came to the right place about views. I actually have, I have a really good view, facing the mountains. So if you live on the top floor of, or like close to the top floor of Gibson or Mills Hall in Machuga Heights, facing the left side of the hallway in Gibson and the right side of the hallway in Mills, you'll definitely get a good view. So should I
Machuga is
specify
where
like, should I specify a room number? That's not my.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just go with the left side of the hall in of Gibson Hall and the right side in Mills.
Yeah, Machuga.
I always wish for everybody to have a good view.
I know. Machuga and Bone definitely have good views. Well, you'll most likely get a good view.
Definitely.
It's approaching 5 o'clock, but I'm down to finish out these questions. So send them in. I'll stay on for a little. We can stay on for a little bit unless it kicks us off. But I think I have control of that, so it's okay. The rules about visitors in your dorms. So because of COVID, they got a little bit strict. You can only sign in 2 people into your dorm, and they can only sleep over for a maximum of 3 days. I'm not sure if they're letting commuters in yet. I think they are now that the semester has, been since it has kicked in. But I know before commuters were not allowed, it was only people who lived on campus that can come in. So it might change by next semester, but that is basically the gist of how that would work. Is it better to live on the top floors or the bottom floors? Top if you want a good view, I guess. I live on the 5th floor, and you guys see my little sunset view. Like I said, I'm actually in one of the study rooms. I like the top floors, I would say, for sure.
I definitely love the top floors. I live on the 6th floor, and I love it. I'm getting a city view next year, actually. So what I did with my friends the other day was I went to the other side of the building, and we just like picked out like the room numbers that like face the city. And we found out like that was definitely better, because if you get the non-city view that faces like the village, you're still gonna look, even if you're at the top floor, you're still gonna like overlook the building a little bit, but you're still gonna have like not that good of a view. So we're getting a city view.
Okay. Camp visitors that don't live on campus like family. Your family can only come in on move-in day, as of right now. Past move-in day, they cannot come up to your room, unfortunately.
Is there certain housing for upperclassmen and transfer students?
Yes.
So if you have 30 credits or more, so typically your sophomore year, you can live in Hawks Crossing, which is a 4-person apartment on campus, and you don't need a meal plan for it. You can also choose to live in Sinatra Hall or the Village Apartments. Sinatra Hall, I believe you need to have, Michaela, do you know how many credits you need to have for Sinatra?
I think it's like, that one might be 30. I know I think it's like 24, 30, and 50 or something like that.
Yeah, and you need 50 credits to live in the Village Apartments.
Yeah.
The Village Apartments, you can have an option of, so there's 4 people living in the village, so you can have 1 double and then 2 singles, so that equals 4, or you can have 4 singles, so every single person in your apartment, 4 of you all have single rooms, and you just share a living room and a kitchen and 2 bathrooms. So those are your upperclassmen options.
There is an elevator if you live at the top floor, so don't worry about that.
Mhm.
Thought about that.
What's the best residence hall to start out at? I think
Ooh.
I do definitely recommend living in the Heights. My experience living in the Heights has been the best, whether you
Yeah.
choose Denali or Machuga. If you're the kind of person that really just likes to go down and get food, then definitely live in Machuga Heights because it is connected to Sam's Place and Bistro. Denali is right down our street. It's about a minute walk. So, if you live in Denali, you can get food pretty easily. But if you really don't like the walk, then Machuga is the best option.
Is there any transport? Yes. So we actually have a campus shuttle that runs every 30 minutes. They have stops in front of some of the academic buildings, residence halls, and parking decks. But to get like from class to class, you don't need transportation. Everything is walkable distance. So, yes. Is there a curfew? No. We are adults, so we don't have curfew anymore. I know I asked that question too. I was like, it is 3 a.m. Can we just be wandering outside on campus? And they were like, yes, you are an adult. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this. So there's no curfew. You can enter your building at any time. You can walk around campus anytime. All right. Any last minute questions before we sign off that we can answer? I don't know. They're probably gonna come in. Let's see.
Market
Ooh, that's a good question. They have like apples and bananas and oranges type of thing. Vegetables, I don't think. Oh, they might have like frozen vegetables. They might have frozen. I'm not 100% sure, but there is a
I usually
Target.
eat bananas at Freeman.
Yeah.
You could just pick up like bananas whenever you want. Is there a place in your dorm where you can store your bike if it's raining or snowing? Yes.
Mhm.
On the side of, I'm not sure about Denali, but I know on the side of Machuga Heights, right before you walk up the steps, right underneath the steps, we have, it's like an open, not shed, but it's like an
Yeah.
open area where you can like store like your bike or your scooter, if you have one. And they have like bike racks. So I don't think they don't provide locks, so you have to bring your own lock, but you can just store your bike down there because I know they don't allow those in the dorm rooms.
I remember being told about a residence hall that is 21 plus. Is that true? Which hall is that? I'm gonna assume that's the Villages, because the Villages are more of like the upperclassmen. So that's typically 21 plus. So that would be the Villages.
What is the closest supermarket to get daily needs? So we actually have a shuttle that operates like on the weekends. The shuttle can take you to Clifton Commons. So there's a Target and a Stop and Shop there. So if you ever need to go get groceries, you can use the shuttle, which is completely free to students, whether you're a commuter or a resident. So
yeah. In terms of New York, we have 2 train stations on campus on either ends. They do not run on the weekends, unfortunately, but they do run all the time during the week. We're only 12 miles away from New York, and the train ride is probably it's about an hour, and it's very easy. I've never taken the train myself in my entire life, and I've done it like a few times since I've gotten here, and it is very easy to manage. So it's a very easy commute. And what's the party? I don't know what the party is. I was like, all right, let's see.
Freshmen have cars on campus if you're living on campus. You're not allowed to have your car on campus during your freshman year, but once you get 30 credits, you are allowed to park in New Jersey Transit lot. So you could definitely do that, but not freshman year, unfortunately.
Yeah. So once you have that amount of credits, sorry. Not only can you park in transit is actually, once you have enough credits, you would park in the parking decks that are really on campus. So like Car Park DM, which I just showed you out my window, and any of the lots on campus. I am a freshman, and yeah, you just unfortunately can't have, but you can park in transit if you want. It's about $65 per month. I'm gonna give it like 3 more minutes. Last minute, 5:10. I think is probably enough time. Let's see. Nope. I don't think so. Well, for in the Heights at least, you have your own heat and air. So it's actually a little chilly in this room, but that's because you can't control the heat in the study room. But in your own room, you can control that. So yeah, no, the windows don't leak. It was so fun talking to all of you guys. I hope that we helped you guys get a little idea of what it's like being a student here at Montclair State.